I could feel the ghost. It was in the room. The temperature had dropped ever so slightly, and I could sense the presence of something not human. Not anymore, anyway. Neither of the occupants were supernatural, and apart from myself, they were the only ones in the room. Nigel and Harriet Carson, the middle-aged residents of this quaint little house on the outskirts of Maidstone's town centre, had hired me to resolve their ghost problem. Apparently, it had been causing quite a rumpus, their words, not mine. "Listen," I called to the ghost. "I've got all night, and so have you, but I charge 30 quid an hour, which means these two lovely people who own this house, probably, the crystal vase flew off the mantel and smashed against the far wall. Luckily, it had been empty. Nigel shrieked and Harriet fixed him with a disapproving look. "Good. We're getting somewhere," I said to the air. "Why don't you try using words?" I suggested. "This is all it ever does. For months now, all it's done is throw things around. So many of our things have been destroyed," Harriet said. She was a stern woman with her grey hair pulled back into a tight bun. She reminded me of a mean head mistress. "That's unfortunate," I said. "Ghosts, or as this particular spirit was more commonly known, poltergeists, often resorted to throwing things around in frustration. They grew frustrated with being unable to materialize and communicate properly. Crossing from the spirit world isn't easy. Those who fail sometimes try to force their way back, and the result is usually getting stuck halfway. I suspected that that was the case here. I looked at my watch. I'd been here for an hour and a half. That was 60 quid, plus the 200 for resolving the issue. I could drag it out longer, but I couldn't really be bothered. Besides, who knew how long it would take to wrap things up anyway? "Ghost," I called out. "I'm going to pull you through to the living realm. This might feel weird, I don't know, it's never happened to me. Also, it might go wrong because I'm a tad out of practice. By out of practice, I mean I've never done it before, but I have seen it done, and I know how to do it, I think. Just bear with me." The temperature suddenly plummeted, and I heard a voice behind me. "There's no need for that." I turned, casually, trying to hide my surprise, and looked at the dead woman behind me. Ghosts can appear in a variety of forms, but most commonly they look like faded versions of themselves. To the untrained eye, they don't look any different than regular living people. My eyes are trained, though. This particular ghost was a young woman, no older than 30. Her hair was long and brown, and she had a triangular face with dark, glaring eyes. Nigel gasped again, and the ghost gave him a dirty look. "So, you were choosing not to materialize," I said accusatorially. "Obviously. All these months you could have appeared like this and talked to these guys, but instead you chose to throw their belongings around and harass them. Why?" I asked with genuine curiosity. "Because I don't like them," she snapped. "The feeling is more than mutual," Harriet hissed. "No, Harriet, don't antagonize it," Nigel muttered. "It?" the girl demanded, rounding on Nigel. Nigel opened his mouth and a little squeak of fright popped out. How pathetic. "Don't you get confrontational with my husband, you unchristian beast," Harriet said in a strict tone. If she thought the ghost was unchristian, I wonder what she thought of me. "Unchristian?" the ghost woman smirked. "I've seen what you two get up to in the bedroom, and it's anything but Christian." Both Harriet and Nigel blushed and looked away awkwardly. "Well, I think I've heard enough of that," I said. "Why don't you tell us your name?" The ghost woman looked at me dubiously, her arms crossed defensively over her chest. "Amber," she said quietly. "Okay, Amber.